friends, Low Carb Keith here. I'm back in my kitchen. It's a few days before Christmas, but I've got to eat, so I decided to make something a little bit different today, something that I've not made for you before. It's sort of similar to some other things that I've made, but today I'm going to make a keto meatball casserole. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to make our meatballs. So I've got 1 pound of ground beef here, and I've got an egg, which I'll put in just a minute. I've got some cheese, which we'll be using in the casserole later. This is some Mexican style shredded blend. I've also got, left over from the other day, I have some crushed pork rinds that I'm going to add to it. And I've got some Lowry's seasoning salt and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So the first thing that we're going to do is just add our egg into there. Just 1 egg is enough. I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees. So, excuse me. All right. Let's go ahead and add some seasoning to it, my Lowry's seasoning salt. You could use any kind of seasoning on this if you wanted to. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Eyeball that. I'm going to add probably about 1/2 cup to 1 cup of my pork rinds, crushed pork rinds. There we go. And I'm going to add a little bit of shredded cheese. We'll be using the shredded cheese later when we make the casserole part of this. But I'm going to add just a little bit inside the meatballs themselves. I guess I didn't tear that good enough. Let's try it again. See if I can get it open. And you could use any kind of cheese with this that you wanted to. There we go. That'll be enough. Now let's just get our hands in there, get it all good and mixed up and blended together. Hope you're having a good week. It's the week before Christmas. Like I said, we're just a few days away, and hope you've prepared everything that you need for Christmas. My wife was off work yesterday, and she spent the whole day in the kitchen baking. So she was baking all kinds of Christmas goodies and cookies and things such as that. So my cat is making a little bit of noise over there. All right, get this good and mixed up. And we're gonna make these into meatballs, and then once they're done, then we'll prepare the casserole dish with a couple of other things that we're gonna put in there. You know, you could add onions to this, but I decided not to today. All right, so let's make our meatballs and get them in our baking dish. And these are going to go in the oven at, like I said, 350 degrees for about, and it depends on the size that you make them. I make them a little bit bigger than a golf ball. So these may take 25 minutes or so, 20 to 25 minutes. If you make them smaller, they're going to not take quite as long. All right. And I'll probably end up with 12 or 13 of these. So it doesn't look like we're going to have a white Christmas in East Tennessee, where I'm from. It's going to be nice, and we're looking at a little bit of rain on Christmas Day, but it's not going to be cold enough to snow. We don't have a white Christmas in East Tennessee very often, that's for sure. I can remember a few, but not many. A lot of people have this week to kind of get prepared for Christmas. To be honest, we've been so busy. We've not done a lot for Christmas this year. I mean, we've got our decorations up and all, which is good. And but we just decided that this year is going to be we're not going to go all out like we have in the past years, especially when the kids were little. We try to make a big deal out of it when they were small, but now they're grown. They have lives of their own, and they'll be here. But we're just going to kind of keep it simple, keep it small, and be grateful and thankful for all the things that we've got. All right, sure enough, ended up with 13 meatballs. So we're going to put these in the oven, like I said, at 350 for probably about 20-25 minutes, and then we'll come back and we will prepare our casserole portion of it. All right, very good. Let's go put these in the oven. All right, friends. My meatballs have been in the oven for about 25 minutes. I'm going to take them out. Yeah, this is what they look like right there. All right, very good. And now we're going to prepare the casserole portion of the dish. As you'll notice here on the table, I took a half of a small onion and I chopped it up. It's not being cooked. And I also took one bag, like a 12-ounce bag of cauliflower. I steamed it in the microwave, and then I chopped it up into smaller pieces. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take a baking dish. Let me move these meatballs out of the way. Okay. We'll take a baking dish and I'm going to put the cauliflower and the onions into our little dish here. Okay, so let's get that in there. Try not to make too much of a mess. All right, there we go. We've got it. We've got it in our dish. I'm gonna mix it up. Try to get the onions evenly distributed around. Okay, just like that. All right. You could use cauliflower rice with this. You could even use mashed cauliflower if you wanted to. So the next thing we're going to do, let me get this out of the way, is we're going to take our meatballs and we're going to place them on top of the cauliflower. So just going to put them right like that. There's no need to drain them. Okay. There's a little bit of grease on them, which is good. All right. Put our meatballs in there. Spread them out just a hair maybe. All right. So there's our meatballs on top of our cauliflower. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a half a jar of pasta sauce. And this is a garden vegetable pasta sauce. This is Muir Glen. I think that's how you pronounce it, organic. And the thing you have to be careful with pasta sauces is the amount of sugar that it has in it. Now, the one that's very popular right now is Rao's. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It's got 6 grams of carb per serving in it. It's like $10 for just one jar. And this, I found it doesn't have that few carbs. It's got 8 total carbs, 2 dietary fibers, so that's 6 net carbs per serving, and there's about 5 servings in this container. and this was less than half of what the other cost. So I thought I'd get this and try this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about half a jar of this right on top of our meatballs. A little bit more. Okay, about a half a jar. I'm going to spread that around just a little bit. You'll notice that I left my my oven on. I believe I did, yes, because this is going to go back into the oven here in just a few minutes. All right, so there's that, and then we're going to take some shredded cheese and put this on top. Probably about a cup of shredded cheese, even though there was a little bit of shredded cheese in the meatballs themselves. Maybe a little bit more than a cup. There we go. Get a good layer of shredded cheese on there. And this is going to go back into the oven for about 15 minutes. And what that will do is that will melt the cheese, it'll heat up the sauce, and then it'll be ready to taste. So my keto meatball casseroles are going back into the oven. 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right. All right, friends, my keto meatball casserole's been in the oven for about 15 minutes. Let's take it out and let's give it a taste. Now that looks delicious. Can you see that right there? That's what it looks like. Wow. Gooey. All right, so we're going to take one of these meatballs. We're going to get some of the cauliflower and onion to go with it. We're going to give it a taste. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Maybe hot. That is yummy. That is delicious. This is delicious. It's something different. It's add that cauliflower to it. It kind of fills it up, makes it more of a meal. It's much better than just plain meatballs, and I've made plain meatballs a lot. But anyway, and it's low carb. There's not a lot of carbs in it. There's a little bit of carb in the cauliflower, a little bit, and the cheese, and there's some in the tomato sauce, the pasta sauce. But this would easily be 4 or 5 servings, and you're probably looking at about 7 or 8 net carbs per serving. So it's not a lot. All right, friends, I hope you get a chance to make this in your kitchen. Maybe not for Christmas, but sometime maybe for the week after Christmas. And I hope all of you have a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful Christmas season. And I'll probably be back after Christmas before the new year with something else. So thanks for watching.